Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam dear devotees. Today we are reading the book The Hare Krishna Challenge by His Divine Grace H.D.G Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrila Prabhupāda. We shall continue the chapter number 15 on Science and Belief. The following conversation between Śrila Prabhupāda and one of his disciples was recorded during an early morning walk in Perth, Australia in May of 1975. Disciple: taking the part of a materialistic scientist, why do you call Krishna consciousness a science? It seems like it's only a belief. Śrila Prabhupāda: your so-called science is also belief. If you call your way science, then our way is also science. Disciple: but with our science we can prove our beliefs. Śrila Prabhupāda: then prove that chemicals can make life. Your belief is that life is made from chemicals. So prove it. Then it is science. But you cannot prove it. Therefore it remains a belief. Disciple: well, you believe in the soul, but you can't prove that it exists. Since we cannot see the soul, we have to conclude that life comes from matter. Śrila Prabhupāda: you cannot see the soul with your gross senses, but it can be perceived. Consciousness can be perceived, and consciousness is the symptom of the soul. But if, as you say, life comes from matter, then you must demonstrate it by supplying the missing chemicals to make a dead body live again. This is my challenge. Disciple: it will require some time to find the right chemicals. Śrila Prabhupāda: that means you are talking nonsense. Your belief is that life comes from chemicals, but you cannot prove it. Therefore, you prove yourself to be a rascal. Disciple: but you accept the Bhagavad Gita on faith. How is that scientific? It's only your belief, isn't that correct? Śrila Prabhupāda: why isn't it scientific? The Bhagavad Gita says, Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanayat anna sambhava. All living entities subsist by eating sufficient food grains, and grains are produced from rain. Is that belief? Disciple: that must be true. Śrila Prabhupāda: similarly, everything in the Bhagavad Gita is true. If you think about it carefully, you will find it is all true. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that in society there must be an intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, who know the soul and God, that is civilized men. But where is such a class of men in today's society? Disciple: there are many rabbis, priests and ministers. Śrila Prabhupāda: but what do they know about God? Just try to see this one point clearly. There is a supreme authority. You are not independent. Therefore, you have to accept that a supreme authority exists. But you do not know who that supreme authority is. So, if you do not know the supreme authority, then what is the value of your knowledge? Suppose a man does not know about the government of his country. What kind of man is he? He is simply a third-class man, a rascal. A civilized man knows about his country's government. Similarly, there is a government of the whole universe. But if you do not know it, you are a third-class uncivilized man. Therefore, Lord Krishna teaches in the Bhagavad Gita that in human society there must be an intelligent class of men who know God and who understand the whole universal management. How it is running under the order of God. We Krishna conscious devotees know these things. Therefore we are civilized. Disciple: But the Bhagavad Gita was written 5000 years ago, so it doesn't pertain today. Śrila Prabhupāda. The Bhagavad Gita was not written 5000 years ago. It was already there. It has always existed. Do you study the Bhagavad Gita? Disciple. Yes. Śrila Prabhupāda. Then where do you find in the Bhagavad Gita that it was written 5000 years ago? It was first spoken more than 120 million years ago. Krishna says, Imam Visvaste Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam. One spoke these signs to Vivaswan more than 120 million years ago. You do not know this? What kind of reader of the Bhagavad Gita are you? The Bhagavad Gita is Avyayam. It is eternally existing. So how can you say it was written 5000 years ago? Śrila Prabhupāda points to the rising sun with his cane. Here we see the sun is just rising, but it is always there in space. The Bhagavad Gita is like that. It is eternal truth. When the sun is rising, we don't say it is just now coming into existence. It is always there, but we can't see it until it rises. Men used to think that at night the sun would die and in the morning a new sun was created, but also used to believe the earth was flat. This is your scientific knowledge. Every day a new opinion. Disciple. This means that we are discovering the truth. Śrila Prabhupāda. No. It means you do not know what is the truth is. You are only speculating. Now you accept something as true. But after a few days you say it is not true and you call this science. Disciple. Yes, you are right, Śrila Prabhupāda. Many of the scientific textbooks that were written just a few years ago are outdated now. Śrila Prabhupāda. And the scientific books you are now using will be useless in a few years. This is your science. Disciple. But at least what we know now is more true than what we knew before. And if we keep trying, we will know more. Śrila Prabhupāda. This means you are always in ignorance. But the Bhagavad Gita is not like that. Krishna says to Arjuna, I first instructed the science to 120 million years ago. And today I am teaching you the same thing. That is scientific knowledge. The truth is always the same. But you scientists are always changing, discovering the truth. You call it. That means you do not know what truth is. Disciple. As himself. The problem is everyone is a cheater. Everyone is speculating and presenting his own conclusions as the truth. Śrila Prabhupāda. Yes. Therefore we have accepted Krishna, the person who does not cheat. And since I am presenting only what Krishna has said, I am also not a cheater. That is the difference between us and the scientist. Hare Krishna. Śrila Prabhupāda ki jai.